This is ShadowGlass. We're going to be doing the prologue today. Yeah. Okay. As the rain poured down, Alice walked slowly toward the university library. She was in her freshman year and was already falling behind. This was her first year away from home, and she was still new to the sleepy town of Blackbel. The town was silent and not the best place to be if you wanted to party, but the students had their ways of making the best of the situation. Campus lights flicked on as the sun dipped behind the buildings. With such a drastic change, she wasn't adjusting as fast as she hoped for her new lifestyle. She had to get better at prioritizing the party, choosing the sorority, or spending time with her boyfriend Matt. Oh, okay. So each had been spending long nights in the library studying and working on reports. Okay. As everyone else was heading to some sort of party, as she was walking up the steps of the library. What a way to spend a Friday night. As she pulled the door open. Hey Alice, late down to study again, I see. Hello, Jonathan. Okay. Yeah, you know how it is sometimes. As she worked her way through the table to find her favorite spot to sit. As she unpacked her books, she could feel Jonathan's eyes watching her. She didn't really know Jonathan like that. They usually ran to each other in the calculus class. She knew he was one of the University of Golden Oak exceptional students in engineering and physics. He worked in the library mostly every day of the week. She could tell he had a crush on her. He was always willing to help her find books on what she was studying on. Alice pulled her materials out, setting up for a very long night. I used to do all-nighters in college and it was horrible. Horrible. She went over to the bookshelf to collect a few books and start her night of studying. Let's see what I can use. Objective, get some books for studying. Oh, now we gotta... Okay. Calculus for absolute imbeciles. I guess that's me. Should definitely check it out. Calculus baby steps. Really need this. Okay. Starting cryptology, where it all started. I think one more should do it. I'm just going through random, I don't know. What is this? Alice eyed the leather-bound book in her hand as she flipped through it. Book belongs to Terry Jacobs. It definitely doesn't belong here. You find everything okay? Yeah. I found this book. Handed it to Jonathan. Looks like someone left it behind. Terry Jacobs? I don't recall a student by that name. Look at that name described on the inside of the book. Not that it says much. I don't know every student that goes here. Looking slowly through the book. But it is someone I recall running into. Curious. It seems like they're into supernatural stuff. They were doing quite a bit of research on the ShadowGlass ceremony. Well, I will place it in the lost and found. Alright. I'm sure they will come looking for it. Eventually. ShadowGlass. You know how it is. There's always a group of students on campus that's into the occult stuff. ShadowGlass is a belief that was practiced a long time ago by the cult of Blackbel. The cult of Blackbel. You seem to know quite a bit about it. I did research on it for my history reporter on the town last semester. From the old news clippings I found, they hinted that it might Well, they hinted at it, but they generally didn't go in depth about it. Okay. Blackbel cult. So the Blackbel founders were a Houthi black from a Mohegan tribe on Marybelle. When Jacob Bell brought his settlers to this area, they found that a Mohegan tribe was already occupying the land. Months of battling each other, Marybelle, wife of Jacob Bell, offered an oath of union in the bloodshed and to live amongst each other. Hence, the settlement was named Blackbel. The cult is an interesting story in itself. Some documents believe that the effects of Hartford witch huntings trickled down to the village of Blackbel, or Blackbel as we know it. Witch huntings? Yes. Even though the village of Blackbel was under none of the colony, they did take strong influence of their laws and governance. Blackbel was a sanctuary to the natives of the land and the settlers. Settlers learned from the natives, and the natives learned Christianity from the settlers. But within most things, those had different beliefs and practices, which, you know, yeah. As with anything that has prominence in the society, it tries to convert or wipe out others under a facade of justification. So when word of witches and evil reached the village of Blackbel, well, we all know what the American witch hunting led to. A lot of ceremonies that the cult of Blackbel performed, from what I was able to uncover, seemed pretty harmless. They basically worship Mother Earth, nature. ShadowGlass? What is the ShadowGlass ceremony supposed to be? In cult of Blackbel, ShadowGlass ceremonies were technically about achieving immortality. They believed that they could use mirrors as vessels for souls to reside in. ShadowGlass ceremonies was created with the intention of being able to leave an imprint of a person's soul within the mirror. Turn a life in the mirror. Doesn't sound that appealing at all. Maybe not, but they felt the soul could inhabit the world that the mirror reflected. Beliefs? Do you believe any of the stuff that you researched about the ShadowGlass? I wouldn't say I believe it, but I did find it intriguing at some level. Even back then, mankind thought about crossing over to alternate worlds. Alright. Need help with anything else? No, I think I got starters for the night. But thanks for giving me an interesting history of the city. You know, always nice. Of course. Anytime. Oh, that was a lot to take in. Oh, dead body? Yes. I remember literally doing an all-nighter. I was in the library. It was like 5:30 in the morning. And I just sat there and I was like, pretty much like this, like, I made a mistake and I never do that again. Sleep is important. I must have dozed off. What time is it? Well, almost midnight. Alice scrambled through her bag to look at her cell phone. So she had a few mixed texts and messages and calls. We want to go through the... Okay. Oh no, I don't want to do all that. Dang, Matt's... Oh, Matt's the boyfriend, that's right. See, Matt called me a few times. Haircut's interesting though. No second delayed comment on that, but it's different. You need someone to walk you to your dorm. My ship is basically up. I can walk you. I guess it wouldn't hurt. No, it seems like a great idea. It is totally dark. I just wonder if she would regret her decision because something always seemed off about him. Not that he was ever mean, it just seemed his eyes were dark. It made her neck hair stand on end. Jonathan's face lit up, but before he could respond back, a female coworker interrupted. Ahem. Okay. I can't pronounce that. Hey Jonathan. Well, today was asked if you could finish doing the inventory of the new books that came in. What new books? The ones that arrived about 2 hours ago. Really? Must have missed it coming in. Yeah, must have. Sugar shoulders. He said he wanted all of them in the system tonight so he could be shelved in the morning. Really? Yeah. Really. Turning his attention back to Alice with an apologetic look. I know I offered, but it appears I have some business to attend to. But don't worry about it, smiling as she waved off. As they say that, it's the thought that counts. Grabbing her umbrella and heading to the door. Maybe that's a good thing. Alice shivered a little as the night air hit her face. The rain didn't let up at all while she was in the library. If she hadn't heard from Matt, she would be with her way back to her dorm. This was her favorite time of the year. Pumpkins and the costumes. Just the feeling of being a kid. She knew a costume party was just around the corner, so she had yet to pick out what she would be this year. When the campus was dark and dead silent, it just came off a bit creepy to her. But she headed to her dorm, keeping a close eye of her surroundings. As she turned beside the building, she swore she could hear soft footsteps. She couldn't tell if it was distant off, or if someone was trying to be quiet enough to get off her guard. She glanced over her shoulder. Darkness stared back at her. No one was in sight. Going into the dark. Jonathan. Jonathan? Only to be answered by silence. Maybe someone had just come out of the library. She was the only one studying there, she thought to herself. Alice, no crazy thoughts. Just hurry back. Hurry back as fast as you can. Let's need some sleep. Shaking her head as she walked off. Off again, she could hear the soft footsteps start again behind her. Step, 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 step. Out again, peeked over her shoulder only to see darkness staring back at her. Then back around. What the hell? Remember I playing tricks on me? Alice rolled off and started walking again. She would be glad soon she would have a brief break from studying, so her grades were improving. Pulling her phone out and dialing Matt. Please pick up. Hello?
The number you have dialed, 441 777 9311 cannot be reached at this time. I repeat, 44.
Ooh. Walk fast. She's taken this late night walk many times. And this time she felt really uneasy. Hearing footsteps behind her didn't help the situation. Even though it was late, she would always cross paths with a couple of people on her way to the dorm. But tonight she didn't run into a single soul. Step, step. Footsteps were back. Often her pace was scared, looked over her shoulder. While on the phone again, she dialed her roommate Robin.
Okay, this is like Robin, okay? And I'm like totally not in right now, so, you know, you can like leave a message and I might call you back. But yeah, leave a message.
You're a danger, girl. From the corner of her eye, she could see a dark shadow not that far from her. She could feel her heart jump up her throat as she started to sprint forward. Seeing the bus not far off and brightly lit, she focused and sprinted on. The bus went past her dorm room and one should be coming soon. She stepped under the light of the bus and looked around as she sat down. Alice pulled her phone out to call Matt on or her roommate, but she had no signal. Convenient. She found it quite odd, being that she had never had an issue like this before. She took her surroundings in, looking for that figure that was following her. Her breath told her she could, when she looked out to give her ground to see nothing there. Listened down her phone to check the time. Bus should be arriving soon. Everything is okay. I'm just very, very tired. She squeezed her eyes and whispered to herself, even though she said that she wasn't convinced at all. She opened her eyes, you could see the figure in the distance staring back at her. It slowly walked towards her. Alice went down to the street to see the bus light breaking through deep night. As far as the figure was, she would be able to make the bus. She stood at the edge of the bus and closed her, looking back between the bus and the figure. It didn't seem to be moving anymore. The bus got closer, Alice looked out, and the figure was gone. The bus stopped in front of her. She thought once the bus arrived, she would feel better. But she didn't. Something just felt wrong. Alice stared toward the bus. If she now saw it drive up, she would have thought it was empty. The windows were pitch black as if the lights were off. She could even see the driver sitting in the front. She didn't know what it was, but she didn't want to get on. The bus slowly opened and ice cold air hit her face. Well, she had a bad feeling about the bus, she had to move away from it. The bus was so dark as Alice looked in. Suddenly red eyes lit up in the shadows. Alice looked back from the bus, breathing heavy. Taking one last glance back at the bus, Alice ran away. She didn't remember that the campus down there was always open, 24 hours, so I had to run there. Alice's feet led her as fast as they could towards the diner. Her safe haven. Matt and her always hung out there. Number will be over soon. Just thinking about Matt made her wish he was there with her now. The bell chimed as she walked in. She looked back over her shoulder, but the bus wasn't there anymore. She didn't recall it passing by her as she was running away. Well, it seems your counterpart is missing tonight. Huh? Oh yeah, just me tonight. I have a seat, whatever you like. I'll be right along over. Alice took one of her table closer to the counter. She sat down facing the door to keep it in her view. As she took in her surroundings, she noticed how tonight wasn't that busy. There was only a truck driver tucked in the corner with his head buried in his chest. Not too far from him was a girl curled up in the booth eating deeply into whatever book she was reading. She found this odd, being that usually on Friday night it would be packed. As she walked over to the table, doubt you need this as many times you've been here. But still, slow night. She slipped the menu that the waitress handed her. Why? I believe there is some big party going on. That's where everyone is. Kinda sucks when you get scheduled to work on Friday nights. Yeah. After a brief pause, she looked back to the waitress. I'll take a coffee tonight. With a half smile, she handed the menu back. Coffee it is, tucking her notepad into her apron and walking over to the coffee machine. Alice looked down at her phone. She could see that her signal wasn't that strong. She started to question if she was losing her mind. Now would be a good time for Matt to be with her. Where are you, Matt?
The person you have called has a mailbox that is full. Please try again later.
Alice blinked her eyes quickly as her vision blurred. Ooh.
You cannot escape.
That is wild. The waitress that was over at the counter was gone. Even the truck driver and the girl reading the book was gone. Alice could feel the creature's fiery yellow eyes burning into her. Dang, he said no more running. No more hiding. You shall remain with me in the shadows. Shadow figure lunged forward, grabbing her arm. Alice struggled to free herself from its embrace. Her skin tingled as she felt the shadow working its way up her arm. She could feel herself weakening as fog started to engulf her. Surrounded them both as she felt an icy sensation run down her arm. The creature was not letting her go. To be continued. Pull out in. Okay. Powered by Areno Builder. Okay. Again, this is ShadowGlass. I guess the rest of the credits. Creator and writer Jesus Papoy. Sorry if I butchered it. Co-writer 3D Sphinx. Music Something Wicked by Ross Budgeon. Side Above, Dark Fantasy Studios. Scary Theme 2 by Andrew. Don't want to butcher your last name. Investigations in Death Market, Black Tar. Okay, so these are all the credits. That was weird though. That was wild, especially saw the shadow thing in the background. I was just like, ooh, someone following her, and then it just took her and was like, you're coming with me. Thank you for interest in the project. Yeah, that was awesome for a prologue. Like, I wasn't expecting the thing from out of nowhere and snatch her up like that, but that was an awesome way to end it. Makes you actually want to see the rest of it. So, yeah, that's pretty wild. So yeah, that was ShadowGlass. If you enjoyed this video, please, if you want to like, comment, subscribe, share it even. If you want to, well, obviously she's missing now. But if you want to play this game, you know, I will link it below for you to play it yourself. Especially when the rest of it comes out, because this is just the prologue. That's all I got right now. So yeah, that was awesome. Really entertaining. And yeah, I will see y'all on the next one.